Okay. So it was chaotic scenes, guys, chaotic scenes, between Brentford and Aston Villa at Bramall Lane, right? Chaotic. It was just chaotic. I don't want to lie to you, but it was a great game of football, though. It was a great game of football, though. Brentford won, Aston Villa 2. So a lot of people obviously underestimated Aston Villa a lot. They thought Aston Villa were going to lose the game because Aston Villa's away record hasn't been, perfect. But we're talking about a team that just recently won away to Tottenham, right? A team that has been on form not so long ago. Yes, I understand Aston Villa don't have a good away record, but still, this is a team that has been on top of their game throughout the season. This is a team that just recently qualified for the knockout stages of the Europa Conference League right now. This is a team that won back-to-back home games against Manchester City and Arsenal, respectively. Aston Villa, irrespective of their away form being bad, you can never write them off, regardless of that fact. You can never write them off. Yes, they've had a great home record. To say the least, they've had a great home record. But look, they've been on fantastic form this season. So, let's start with the game, right? So what? Brentford made three changes from the defeat to Sheffield United last weekend, as we saw Matthias Jorgensen, Mikel Damsgaard, and Mad Roeslav came in for Frank Onyeka, Neil Mopey, as well as Shandon Baptiste. You understand? So those three guys were dropped, and these three players that I mentioned first came into the starting 11. As for Aston Villa made four changes from their win over Arsenal. You understand? They made four changes, which means Jacob Ramsey and Alex Moreno, right? I'm going to mention those two. Alex Moreno and Jacob Ramsey, they came in to make their first Premier League starts of the season for the suspended Douglas Luiz as well as Luca Dean. And then we also saw the reason why they had to also make some of these changes, that now they dropped Leon Bailey to the bench again. Yuri Tillemans was nursing a foot injury, so he could not feature in the game, right? And then we saw, look, man, both of these clubs need the 3 points. They both needed the 3 points, right? The 3 points were very important for them, in order for them to for different reasons, obviously. Villa wanting to keep their Champions League hopes alive, as well as even their hopes of a fairy tale winning the Premier League, which most people are writing them off. You understand? But I sincerely believe that they can pull a fairy tale. Leicester City did that in the 2015-2016 season. Nobody expected that to happen. So, you know what? You cannot write Aston Villa out. You understand? So, as for, Brentford were hoping to bounce back from that defeat against Sheffield United. So 3 points were very crucial for them. And all points matter for them, because, this is a team that is obviously playing to avoid relegation at the end of the season. But they are not really doing so badly. Yes, they've just had an inconsistent run so far, have Brentford, right? But let's look at the game for what it was, right? So, Aston Villa had a bright start. They dominated proceedings in the first half. You understand? They were very dominant, but they did not capitalize at all on their dominance. And what's even crazy is that Brentford were the team that actually showed much more, finesse. They showed much more, intention in their attack, because Brentford were actually more threatening than Aston Villa, irrespective of the fact that Aston Villa were dominating possession in the first 45 minutes of the game, right? They were dominant. But guess what Brentford did? Brentford pulled off an unlikely surprise. You understand? Scoring on the brink of halftime. You understand? England midfielder Keane Louis Potter getting his first goal. You understand? For Brentford in the Premier League in the 45th minute, after some very poor defending. That was very sloppy defending from Aston Villa from that corner kick. It was very sloppy defending once again from Aston Villa. And look, the ball fell kindly to Lewis Potter, who slotted the ball back into the back of the net, and to give the home side the 1-0 advantage going into the halftime break. Second half, same old, right? It was same old. Aston Villa dominating possession, but not doing much with the ball. It's a reality when we often say possession does not win you games. Goals do. You understand? It does not help for you to actually be dominating possession, but you're not actually making the most of it. You're not making use of it, right? That's what we saw with Aston Villa in this game. Second half was the same old story. They were dominating, but they did not capitalize on their dominance, right? And they could have been punished. Brentford missed a whole lot of chances that could have sealed the game off, right? But then, look, Aston Villa were provided a lifeline as Ben Mee got a red card, a sending off in the 65th minute of the game, which for me was a deserved red card. First of all, the referee gave him a yellow card, Ben Mee, although it had to be checked by the video assistant referee to see if was there any serious foul play that was actually worthy of giving him a red card. And unfortunately for the Brentford defender Ben Mee, he was sent off, given an early shower. You understand? And funny how that's actually his first red card, in his Premier League career. That's now his 263rd Premier League appearance. And, he has, and in all competitions, that was only his second red card. His other red card came 10 years ago, for Burnley when they played against Blackburn in March 2013. And that was only his 372nd appearance since that first red card. So that's basically his first Premier League red card, but his second red card, in terms of career-wise throughout his entire career. And that red card actually did give Aston Villa a massive boost because it gave them an advantage with the one-man advantage. They were able now to actually find their way, crawl themselves back into the game, because understanding that Ben Mee left a huge gap in the defense, right? And which is a very crucial area of any team, a defense and a midfield. But now when you lose somebody in your defense or midfield, it becomes very difficult for you to actually contain the team that is actually putting you under pressure. And that's exactly what we saw. Aston Villa made use of the one-man advantage, and they actually put more pressure on their opponents, and we saw they were rewarded eventually. Great cross from substitute Leon Bailey, finding Alex Moreno, left back, who just came in for Luka Dean. That was actually his first league goal for Aston Villa this season, scoring his first goal on his first start. Congratulations once again to Alex Moreno. That was a great header to see Aston Villa coming back into the game. And look, great cross once again from substitute Leon Bailey. He's the one who actually changed the complexion of the game. He made an instant impact as he was brought on from the bench. You understand? He made an instant impact. He's, coming onto the pitch was, it really changed things for Aston Villa going forward. And that's exactly what we saw, right? And look, great assist, great goal once again by Alex Moreno. And it was a question of, could Aston Villa go on to win the game? And guess what they did? That's exactly what they did. Boubacar Kamara from the corner kick, he actually set it up. He set up the second goal. Ollie Watkins found unmarked at the far post, slotting the ball into the back of the net. Ollie Watkins has been on superb form this season, scoring against his former club. And that celebration actually sparked some huge tensions, some huge temper amongst the players, right? But Ollie Watkins did explain why he celebrated like that since he scored the winner against his former club, right? He said that there was a fan that has been disrespecting him, that has been on his case for the entire game, that has been really, behaving like a parasite towards him throughout the entire game. So that's why he celebrated like that. It was nothing malicious whatsoever. It was not a matter of him trying to hit back at the Brentford supporters, his former supporters, but it was just a way of hitting back at the fan who has been harassing him throughout the game. There was nothing malicious in that one. So that's what he said in terms of him just clearing the air. And look, Aston Villa did make history, right? As for Brentford, Brentford have now dropped 17 points from winning positions in the Premier League this season. The most of any side, and already they are most in a single season in the competition. As for Unai Emery, that's his first Premier League game in charge of Aston Villa since 2022, where he has gone on to win 3 consecutive games. You understand? He did that with Arsenal. And with Villa, Aston Villa now, they've won, 25 Premier League games in 2023. Aston Villa, they've won 25 Premier League games in 2023. That's their most top flight wins in any calendar year. And we saw also with Kamara was also sent off, in terms of like that debacle between Emiliano Martinez as well as Neil Maupay. It was all sparked from that, and then we saw tensions booming, a lot of players getting involved, the managers also getting involved. It was just a crazy game of football, ill discipline, chaos. Look, I mean, tend to believe it, man. Tend to think of it: 10 yellow cards, 2 red cards. Even both managers received yellow cards. I mean, Aston Villa was shown 4 yellow cards. Brentford was shown 6 yellow cards, 2 red cards for both sides, right? Ben Mee on the side of Brentford receiving an early shower, and then on the side of Aston Villa, Boubacar Kamara receiving a red card. So it was just a chaotic game. You understand? That was just a chaotic game of football, right? And that was Aston Villa straight, 3 straight league wins for them, right? Which saw them move like temporarily to second place, but before Liverpool and their goalless draw against Manchester United at Anfield, it saw now Aston Villa drop to third. So look, the title race is wide open. The title race is wide open. Can Aston Villa do it? We wait to see.